help you to get to where we're at or get to beyond where we're at because we made mistakes just as well as everybody else around us. All right.
Facts.
Now, my man Mac out here, I don't know what he got, but he had something on his heart that was stirring. You know,
Yes,
stirring
sir.
out here in these streets, out here in these mean streets of the
You know what?
internet.
Specifically, and I not even just the internet. I want to know
He said
in the
specifically.
streets. I said specifically.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
He said the
yeah,
S.
I know the difference.
He
Educated
got
black man over here.
He talking to DS.
I can't even see you,
Oh
Trey.
yeah, yeah. You out the screen, my boy.
I ain't
there
pull
you
up
go.
in the shadows yet.
Okay, he in the
Alright,
shadow
here you
realm.
go.
Go ahead. He in the shadow realm.
We on the cold
All right.
topic, just so I'm gonna lurk in the back.
All right. Add to the effect. Okay. All right, so check this out. So the topic I got in mind, bro, is really I want to know what's so attractive to the street life. Like, what are those guys showing or saying to make our young men follow behind them and end up in the same places or worse at their own admission? Like, nobody has ever said anything like that to me that made me just like, you know what, that's the life for me and I'm gonna do it, knowing damn well I don't want to be in prison, I don't want to be confined, and I love women. Nobody ever said that to me. What
It's
y'all
funny
think?
too, because matter of fact, we're gonna talk about this again. I'm gonna call my cousin.
Mm.
I'm gonna bring him on. For
Okay.
one, I'll let him tell his story when he get on, but he'll tell you about why he got arrested and how much he got arrested for.
Damn.
But to kind of go off what you said though, right? And I think, and I'm gonna say, I ain't gonna say what I think is what I know, because I've been in this position to where I was that guy on the other side looking at the dope boys at the Suburban Mart on Murkison Road, you know, seeing the pimps and shit walking around. Because right across my house was a prostitute spot. Like they had prostitutes getting banged out from the back, you know what I'm saying? Selling crack and everything out there. I even sold a couple of 8 balls, ounces and things like that here and there. It's way past time fed, so you can't get me for shit. However, way past time, like shit, almost 20 years, damn it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, is that I think it's the allure of, hey, it's a possibility because I've seen these same guys from my neighborhood be able to achieve and to obtain a certain lifestyle that, like, it's not really the lifestyle, it's more of the money, the access to certain things.
Yeah.
So I can't really say it's a lifestyle, it's the access to, right? The access to the women, the access to the cars, the access to the jewelry, just the type of money to be able to move how you want to move. But you don't know they're moving on eggshells. They're moving on eggshells though, right? Mm-hmm. But it's the illusion of I have it, and you can too, because I grew up in the same spot you grew up in. I'm from where you from. You knew me since I was a jit. Like I have it just like you have it. So why can't you get it too? I can front you a 50 pack. Bam, do your thing, B.
Yeah, but what come with that?
We'll get to that after Trey do his thing.
I think that's what we call ghetto luxury. Because I initially I was gonna say black luxury, but I didn't want to go that route because it's not just black people, which is what the world wants you to believe in the first place. Anyway,
what he said,
that ghetto luxury puts you in that mentality or the state of mind frame where it's you rich within that confinement zone where you at. It's like you see, like C said, you see these dope dealers, drug dealers, gang bangers, thugs, and they live in lavish. And you on the outside looking in, and this is, what I'm saying, the mirror that you're looking in front of, and you're like, well, I need to get a part of that. How do I get a part of that? They make it look like having a 9-to-5 is lame. So I need to jump in these streets to, you know what I'm saying? I need to jump in these streets to get that street credit. So when I move around, people know who I am. People see what I got. People want what I got. And now I become something bigger than what I was before I even started this. So it's all about that perception, that life, that, like you said on Paid in Full, they can smell, you look like you got money. They can smell that you got money. People want to be around you. You want to be the most popular person in the world, but not everybody wants to do that time that come with it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So
okay.
So kind of caveat or to add on to what he's saying. So let's take it back a bit, right? So you're looking at what the media portrays,
Mm-hmm.
and then also what you see around you, right? You see these around you. I'm just imagining people in New York, because I got families in New York too, and in Bed-Stuy. I got family like in the Bronx, like, and especially in Harlem too. But Harlem is a different type of flashy, or a different type of than Brooklyn, and in the Bronx.
Yeah, they all got their.
But however, though, like even Atlanta is totally different. It's like the style, the swagger, the demeanor, the type of allure that that
There are some similarities.
It's very similar, and it's very similar across the board. But so when you're talking about you seeing that firsthand, and then you seeing what's reflected on TV, what's reflected in the movies, what's reflected in just media in general. A lot of these people don't know how to discern what's teaching you a lesson, kind of like Aesop's fable. Like Scarface technically is not a true story. It's an illusion to trying to teach you what not to do. But because you see the money, you see the access, you see the cars, you see the women, you see the respect that they get from people who then the respect technically is fear from people. You think that's the cool thing to do, because and I hate to blame our women on this, or women in general, but women have so much power they don't even understand it. Like a lot of things that we do is for the pussy. I ain't trying to be
be real. Talk that shit.
I ain't trying to be explicit, but it's for the vaginas, for the punanas, for the cookie, the cat, whatever you want to call the thing. It's for it, right? And it's because at the time frame we're immature. We had the immature mindset as men that we're really boys. We don't really truly understand what it means to be a man. So we're thinking that getting vagina, laying down in bed, having sex, that's making us a man. We get our, hey man, I bust my nut. I get it. I'm with it. And so we tend to think that having a stable of women is equivalent to being manly. Having a bunch of money is equivalent to being manly. It's having a bunch of access to things that are worldly is considered being manly, when it's not. It's about how you steward those things. But that's what I'm saying. That's when it's deeper. I can even go back. I can even go back all the way to further the slavery, beyond it, to where all of that came from. But I'm gonna let y'all take the floor, and then I'll jump in whenever I need to jump in.
I got you. No, so okay, so y'all actually answered my other question, which was, as a kid, like kind of seeing this stuff, what would have triggered you just watching it, to kind of go into that light. But I kind of get it, all the flashy stuff, and then on top of that, the media showing you this and that, right? You want to add to it?
What up, Matt? How y'all doing, Trey? What's going on, man?
What's good in the hood?
Another great.
So look, man,
in the suburbs.
In the suburbs. Nah, but what's going on, gentlemen? Welcome back to the Black Gentlemen's Club. I ain't gonna do the whole intro, but understand we're here for you. So if you have any comments that you want to leave it. If you want to have some questions you want to ask them. We would like to answer those questions. It's cool. Absolutely. We don't know everything, but we can only talk from our experience. If we don't know what you're talking about, we refer you to somebody who does.
Oh God,
because we don't know everything. Just tell you that off rip, but we know just enough. Well, I don't know, Trey. You got something to add to it? Because I got something to add to it, but it's up to you.
I mean, like you said, when you look inside at all these musics, videos, and TV shows and stuff like that, that's what they constantly push into the simple-minded people. That's why, you got to go that route. Like, the simple-minded people, they feel like it's only one way out. So, but you can't really subjectify it to just that, because, people have their own mindset. And once you set your mind up on something that you feel like is going to benefit you for the right now, like most of the time, these people who want this flash of life, they're only concerned with right now. So once you get past that point, okay, what if I lose everything right now? What do I have tomorrow? And if you answer that question and it's nothing, then you are on the wrong path, my friend. I'm sorry to say that, but you are. So, I can go, like you said.
You good?
Yeah, so I'm saying, like go off what he said with that, though, about the whole wrong path piece, right? And I remember, like, just seeing people. Just think about one thing about our people, and I'm gonna say us, because including me, because I was in this category, and sometimes I'll still I'll be jump roping back and forth, double dutching between in it, out of it, in and out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we don't think long term. We're not thinking about the long term game. We thinking only like just survival. We're always on survival mode. We never own sustainability. We never own scalability. We never own thriving. We're always on survival mode. And when you're on survival mode, man, it's dog eat dog.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It's dog eat dog. It's me against the world. You know, it's all the cliches you can think about, like that these rappers talk about in their music. That because that's what they sing. There are, to be honest with you, our hip hop back in the day was just pretty much reporters for us. They were reporting what's going on in our neighborhoods. We seen that, hey man, New York is just like it is down south. Down south is just like it is in the West Coast. West Coast is just like it is in Europe. Like it's just the telling of our environment. It doesn't mean that you have to be that environment at all times. You know what I mean? So it's
okay. So to go off of that, and I don't mean to cut you off. I really don't.
No, you good. Go ahead.
So 2 things. Trey said the simple-mindedness. At one point in time, we all were simple-minded because we were young kids that didn't know, and we were open-minded to the world of possibilities. And the fact that we saw all of this stuff telling us that it definitely put us in a simple mind category to be molded to what they wanted us to be. So for that fact, I can't stand the fact that they even did it, but oh well, that's how life goes. So my next piece is, after you get past the simple-mindedness, you might have said, okay, I don't believe that music made me this. I don't believe this. I don't believe whatever. What, at this point, do you do when you recognize that drug dealing or being in the streets led you to a life that could get you killed, get you shot, get your family hurt, get your kids taken, like all those bad outcomes, but yet why would you still go to that route? What makes you still say this is the life that I choose, prison or not? Like what makes you still go to that route knowing all of those things? Or is it the fact that you're not considering the total outcome to like what could truly happen to your life or to the people around you? Or is it the fact that the right now is what needs to fix, and this is the best way to fix it?
I mean, that goes with saying, like, once you get past the simple-minded phase, you get in, for me personally, I think you get into the mental phase of, now it's time for me to separate between the possibilities or the probabilities. So
stop it.
It's that concept, bro. Like I've been surrounded by this my whole life. I'm talking about like neck deep up into this type of lifestyle. So once you become in that mode and that reality that I don't have any other possibilities, let me weigh the outcome and look at my probabilities now. What do I got to lose versus what do I got to gain? If I got to die, like people, I'm telling you, people really think if I got to die right now for this right here, so my, you know what I'm saying, my daughter, my son, my family can eat, then that's what I'm going to do. Once they start thinking, okay, now I'm not focused on living for tomorrow because this life is not even promising me tomorrow. It's promising me right now. So what can I do right now to make myself look like I got everything I want right now?
Yes, absolutely.
That's a whole nother issue. Make yourself look like what you want.
But he's spot on. He's spot on about the right now. It's the survival mode, man. And it goes back to the fact that if you go all the way back to slavery, I hate to say this, but like the whole entire Willie Lynch theory, it's a theory. It doesn't mean that it's true. It's a theory. But some of the practices out of that letter did come to play of separating the men from the women, the kids, you know, so forth. So that way the women are more domiciled and the men become like, you know, they become less hostile. Yeah. Because you got to separate them. You got to separate them not only by gender, but also by color. And then tier them into who feels more superior than the other. But when that happens, though, and you start making ghettos and you start making things like that, it's a lot of resentment within our own people. Right? So it's people in the community like that. Like I'm from Murchison Row. I'm from the Merck in Fayetteville. Most people know about the Merck in Fayetteville.
I know.
I'm from an area where it's like it's respect or nothing. Like they will kill you for respect. Real talk. Like that's just what we live by. We will kill you for respect. Real, like just dead serious. But the problem is that we don't have enough people in the community, and some people we do have in the community, and we appreciate those. We big them up, and so forth. But the problem is that we don't have enough of guidance in our own communities because nobody's raising people as a village anymore. Everybody's doing things individually to where that now I can't really discipline or correct your child. Don't mean I have to hit your child, but correct your child in the way they should go. So that way they're not disrespecting you as a parent. But nowadays, a lot of parents are shifting to where they want to be friends with. I'm talking about from now. I'm not talking about the past. I'm talking about from now. And the past is different. In the past, we were just out there with no supervision, right? We were out in the streets doing different things. Be back in before the lights come on. We out here just living life. We anything we see, we getting into it. Yo, you down to go? See a dead body? You down to go rob some shit, steal something from here and there? You down to go sell some? Do whatever. You just trying to fit in because you're trying to be accepted, right? You're trying to be accepted into a culture that, because your friends in there, you grew up with, and you're like, yo, they're my boys, so I want to be left out because they're my boys. Yeah. But it's that peer pressure of seeing them, your homeboys getting them some, you getting topped off, just the access to women, and a lot of times, whatever your currency of your heart is that's what you're gonna put your time into. So if you're about getting money, you're going to focus on, okay, who in my neighborhood getting money and how fast can I get that money? Yeah. So you're going to start lining with the dope boys. You might start gang banging because sometimes in gang banging, they selling dope too. Or they sending chicks out there prostituting, doing God knows what, or breaking the entry, or car theft, whatever, all types of shit. So like you start getting into that realm of the illegal activity because we need things to survive. And nobody's giving us the help. They may give us government assistance, but that's not enough. And only your mom is getting that. You're not getting that as a young man. You're not getting it as a young girl unless you're pregnant.
No, that's real. That's not really helping anyway, because it's not a. I mean,
it's not helping at all. But no, it's not helping at all. But the thing is, though, is that when you start to go through this repeated pattern, and nobody's trying to break that pattern. People are trying to break it, but they're not breaking it in a legitimate way because they don't have the influences around them or been exposed to something different.
Okay. Question for that then. If you say that, because I personally have a story that goes with this, but I want to ask the question first. So what is a legitimate pattern or way of breaking that pattern? What is a legitimate way of breaking that pattern? Like, do you leave? Do you stay and build up? Do you build a community? Do you work as a team? And make sure you include reality into this and not to just say, hey, if we all come together, we're going to save the world. That shit's not going to happen.
Shit ain't happening.
Because
Go ahead.
People got to stop thinking that where they from defines them.
Thank you.
It's like if I really thought like I didn't belong in a corporation because I came from the ghetto around drug dealers, drug users, drug abusers, I wouldn't be there. I wouldn't put myself in those positions because I would think my past is where I really belong, like where I was created, placed, and I guess rooted from is what defines where I go. It's like if you people are cool suffocating. They are.
He ain't lying.
That's facts.
That's why inflation is keep going higher and higher. It's so they can keep suffocating, so they can keep packing the places that they need to pack. Because if you take away an option, you got to create your own options.
That's real. That's real.
I'm coming to the table with all the cards I was dealt.
Yeah, but see the crazy thing about it. No, but he's right. But see the crazy thing about it too. Think about the iPhone, right? The iPhone designed for a purpose. So if you tap into who your creator is and who designed you for your purpose, you know how to be used, right? Because when it's time to get released, like when Trey releases music, right? It's for a purpose. He's not releasing just to release it because it seems good to do. He want to release it at a good time and a purpose, just like iPhone want to release the new iPhone at a time where it can innovate and change the landscape of what's about to come. It wants to be a first adapter of that or an innovator of that to say, hey, look, we are the leader of this. That's like when people come to our culture. People want to come into our culture to steal from us and go back to another culture. right? And take
so they can be the innovators to their culture.
Correct, right? So it's the same thing in the drug game or whatever else. You want to cut out the middleman. You want to go straight to the manufacturer. You want to go to the manufacturer, get the supply, come back, bring it back, break it down for whatever the case may be, cut it, resell it on however the price you want to resell it on. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying you want to do all that. You want to do all that good stuff. You know. Yeah. And the thing about it, crazy thing about it is that it's all business, right? So, if answer your question, if you really want to understand how to help people get out of that mentality, you gotta first build yourself up individually, leave, then come back, and then start building back up your community. Like I can't build my community up while I'm there because it's hard for me to build it up while I'm also building myself up.
Trey, you want to jump in right there?
If you got something, hey,
say it one more time for the people in the back.
I'm saying I can't build my community up if I'm also trying to build myself up, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do that if I'm trying to build my community. Like, now that's why you gotta leave and come back. That's the reason why Cole. That's the reason why Dennis Smith. That's the reason why Nicholas Perkins. That's the reason why a lot of different people who from Fayetteville, they can come back and give back the community because they left in order to create something for themselves, and now they can come back and do more for the community. But you can't do something for people that's in the same level that you at because they don't respect you at the same level you at. They think they can do the same thing you can do because at the same level you at. It's not until you leave and you can then create that gap between y'all to where now they have to respect you and understand, hey, he did it. He really did it. Let me listen to this man right here because he did it.
All right. Say less.
Or this woman.
Yeah. Trey, you want to jump in on that?
There's some great women out there too.
Oh, God. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that, that's the truth. That was nothing but the truth and the whole truth, so help you God. But I think when it comes to that community too based, you can also be looked at as a outsider when you come back in. You may not be fully accepted when you if people don't want that type of positive energy, what do? Terminate it. Try to at least. But I don't know. I think that's why a lot of people don't really come back. And then when they do come back, people look at them like, "Damn, you left, so why you came back?" Type vibe. I think if you leave a place where you from, community based, you should be welcomed with open arms. Not saying I had the problem, because if I go home right now, I'm welcome with open arms.
Yeah,
but
no, you know what though? Go ahead.
I don't think it's very difficult to build a community that doesn't want to be built.
That's real shit.
Or if you build a community, if I lay the foundation, why would you scoop up cement to go put it somewhere else?
Because
so now I got to come back and put more cement.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So I got to come back and put some more cement. You gonna take the cement and go take it somewhere else? Why not go get that cement and bring it back over here?
Fortify this one first, right?
Right. But you can't build a kingdom on crumbly foundation. That shit would not work.
That's facts, bro. That's facts. So I'm gonna take it back a little bit because when it came down to being a difference or trying to be a difference, I'd like to thank the military in my life specifically because it pulled me away from what I knew, from what I was accustomed to and what I wanted to be a part of, because all I wanted to do was do my time in the military, get, set up college and make sure I can sustain and I don't have to go into debt first. But then I wanted to come back and help build my family up, right? That was my goal. But while I was in, the military taught me that, no, this is just the beginning. There's so much more that you have to do to build yourself up. But that came with your family may not have you around no more for a while. Your friends may not have you around no more for life. You never know how it goes. Life may take you away completely, and you got to risk this because you want a future. And I'm like, man, that's powerful because, I really got to let go and let God guide my steps in order for me to be what I'm designed to be so I can help my family be what they're designed to be. If that makes sense, right? So, but then I think back, it's deeper than that. My mother was the first one that did it in my family. And she stepped outside of Bankhead Court. She stepped outside of the West Side. She stepped outside of all of that shit. And she decided, hey, at least I can't leave the state, but I'm finna move across town where it's a little bit easier so my kids can grow up to be a little bit different. They can see something a little bit different because what your environment is and what you see is who you kind of become. That's kind of what makes you, it molds you, right? So her taking those moments and realizing I cannot raise my kids here, she set the standard. So my life now is automatically elevated past my cousins them because they still in the same spot they mama them was in. And I hate to say it, I love them to death, but I'm thankful.
Whew, boy, you struck something.
Oh, so don't talk about it.
Thinking about what you just said, right? So I'm about to bring it back biblically. So God created men and women, right? Mm-hmm. Garden of Eden. He created the ecosystem. He did everything before he created man, and then before he created woman. He did put everything in place for you to be able to thrive and to be abundantly blessed. You ain't have to want for nothing.
Nothing. We got every
created man, created woman from man, to be a helpmate. So now think about it. Think about it. You as a parent is a God, right? Your mom took you out of the environment to give you a better environment or to put you in the ecosystem that can help you thrive. Mm-hmm. This is where choices come into place. This is where decisions come into play. You decide whether or not you want to listen to the outside world, which is the devil, the serpent, and you want to eat from that apple. That way you can be somewhat like God, thinking that you know right from wrong. Think you can be like your parent. Oh, I'm an adult. I know how the life is. Your parents been on this earth longer than you have. We all been through it. Mm-hmm. But as kids and as children, we think that we know more than our parents. How we know more than them? We only been on earth for 12, 14, 18, 20 years.
Sorry.
You know what I'm saying? So now your parents create the ecosystem for you. The serpent, your peers, or whoever that's giving you the wrong advice, coming in your ear, telling you, oh, you can do this and that. You can be just like them. You can do You don't need them. You listen to that bullshit. You bite from that apple. Then what happened? Your parents tell your ass you got to go and live life. Because
I feel like that could be flipped though, but go ahead.
Because you made a choice to not listen. You don't get it. There's still grace involved. You can still come back and be in their presence. You can still dwell amongst them and so forth, but you can't be in this ecosystem no more because you created your own environment for yourself.
That's real. What if you had neither?
Which one? Which one?
Father nor mother. What if you had neither? What if you was placed into this world? Hear me out now. What if you was placed into this world blindly? And the only thing that was guiding you was the serpent, right? So mentally you think the outside world is the in and the inside world is the out, vice versa. But you took that apple, but instead of eating it, you studied it. You learned how the seeds grow inside of that environment. You learn how to replant, reestablish. So now, what they call that, street smarts. What if everything that you was taught was wrong? Do you now make the choice to figure out what's right? Or do you continue going down that same path that you was taught that was right? Because if you don't have the guidance, how do you know where to go?
So it's perfect, right? So think about Saul, right? So Saul was the first king of Israel. There was no king before him. There was no ruler before him. He was the first king of Israel. So what he had to do was he had to seek guidance, which means he had to go find the guidance. And you find the guidance by what? By looking at the fruit that it produced. Is it producing the fruit that is ripe or producing the fruit that is bitter? Which one do you want to take from? But the problem is that we confuse our feelings for what's right and wrong. Instead of looking at what it produces. Like you said before, is it going to lead you down the path to where you can't come back from, or is it going to lead you down the path where you can strive and sustain it? So when you look at Saul and how Saul started getting advice from Samuel, he took a lot of advice from Samuel to the point to where he thought that he knew more than what Samuel knew, and started doing things on his own accord, which how he lost his blessings with God, right? And then which later on got David anointed as before in private as the king of Israel, the future king of Israel, even though the blessings were still on Saul for the time being. God allowed Saul to still be around, gave him grace, right? But then David also had his transgressions with adultery, multiple women, and so forth, right? And then also murder of an innocent man because he slept with Uriah's wife, Bathsheba. So, which made God curse his kids, which probably what happened to most people. God curses your kids because of your transgressions of what you did, because you disobeyed his law, disobeyed his will, right? And so now as a parent, David had to try to how can I say, he tried to resolve those issues on his own. You can't resolve those issues on your own. You got to go back to the source. Whenever there's a virus or an issue with the iPhone, where you bring it to? Do you bring it to a Verizon wireless store or an LG phone service? No, you bring it to an Apple store to get that virus or whatever the issue fixed, right? So if you didn't have that guidance, you got to look at the fruits, the different trees out here in this garden, and figure out what fruit is bearing what I need.
That's what I'm saying.
To sustain in life.
That's subjective though.
I mean, is it really subjective?
If all the trees around you are producing rotten fruit, how do you know if it's good or not based off of taste? You can't really say, like, okay, let me just put the break where the break go, and I'm gonna put myself into the position that I was just supposed to be in.
Yeah.
No mom, no dad, crack addicts all around. You don't really have that. The only people who are guiding you are people in the streets. The outside world doesn't have any way to be viewed. So only thing I knew when I was growing up was the inside, the drug dealers, the drug users, the people in jail. These are the type of things, like, because like I said, when I was young, we was outside. Ain't no TV being watched. Ain't no social media like that. So every single, like in my city, everybody is doing something or used to be doing something that they wasn't supposed to be doing. So in my mind, I don't necessarily think that like sometimes I would say, if we gonna get biblical, I say sometimes God will plant a seed in darkness to force it to grow into a higher light, right?
Correct.
So then he would take that tree and move it to a place where that tree can see the true value of itself and then bear fruit.
No, the tree don't have to see the value of itself. Trees don't see the value of itself. Trees bear the fruit of what's being planted in the soil, right? So going back to what you said, if you're in Atlanta, right, during the time frame in the 90s to 2000s, what businesses was in Atlanta? What major corporations was in Atlanta? I'm saying, because I remember all the ones that was down there. I remember the major ones that people can physically go downtown and see. It's like for example, in New York, right? In New York, you have Wall Street, you have Times Square, you have all these major businesses. But it's so crazy how people are trapped in a concrete jungle that they will not go 2 blocks up the road to go see something that's better than where they at right now. Right?
What if you don't have the access to see something better? That's what I'm saying.
But the thing is, if you have how you not have the access if you can walk down the block? So
what if you take a mentally insane person and put them in an asylum and tell them that everything is all sunshine and rainbows here, but you can't go outside to see that it's that for real? So you have to imagine what you're gonna be, and you have to go for it. Like, people don't really understand the concept of the concrete jungle. If it's concrete jungle, means it has trees that can be accessed and climbed, and you can see the outside world. But when you just in a concrete like a big ass, you might as well say a big ass prison in itself. Like, the outside world don't make sense because everything in that radius is doing the exact same thing. So am I supposed to walk to another state or something like that and figure out a way?
So the crazy thing to me is this, right? So when I hear people say that, because where I'm from is not big at all. Matt been in the area. It's not big at all, right? So Fayetteville, North Carolina is not big. I'm from Murchison Road. Fayetteville State is right down the street. East Smith is. It's like pretty much like being in the country almost, right? Yeah. It's not big at all. But everybody around me it's still business like barbershops. It's still funeral homes. It's still other businesses around me where I see something that's not what I normally see, right? Because it's called a red flag. So think in medicine, right? Think in medicine. Whenever a patient comes to see us in medicine, we want to test them out, do exams to see what are the red flags? What is something that's abnormal that is not normally seen in a patient? But for the patient, that's normal for them. For us, it's abnormal, right? So the patient will always walk around with a limp thinking that that's normal because, but they also know it's not right to be walking around with a limp. They know that, but they accepted that it's not right, that it's right to be walking around with a limp. It's the difference. They accepted the fact that it's right to walk around with a limp. And now the doctor's saying, hey, look, that don't look right. What's going on? So it takes somebody from the outside to look at that person and say, hey, come here real quick. What you doing, man? What's up? But see, if you didn't have that guidance, it's kind of hard to see unless you start being exposed to other things. And I find it hard to believe that young men ain't going to other places and seeing things because I've been in cities too. It ain't nothing to walk down to Times Square from Harlem. It's nothing to walk down to the Apollo, which is in Harlem. It's nothing to walk down other places. It's nothing like even in Atlanta. If you're down in Atlanta, you can go to the CNN building, Coca-Cola factory. You can go down off the King building. You can go all that stuff. So it's never to me it's never an excuse to not be able to go past your first block, first 2 blocks out your house, outside your house, because there's other businesses around our neighborhoods.
If you would have met me 20 years ago, you would not be saying that. Because I will say, living proof, that's me. I didn't have access to none of this shit that you're talking about. I didn't have access to the outside world. I couldn't maneuver around I'm telling you, if you've been to my city, you will understand that it's divided. One side is black people who are doing black shit, and the other side is white people who are put up a invisible wall so you can't see what the hell they doing. Like, you don't even barely see white people in my city, but it's flooded with white people.
That's like Durham, North Carolina. It's the same way. It's the
same way. Let me say this. Because I see this shit, and I ain't gonna lie to you. I almost dropped the goddamn tear because. Look, Cordero, I don't know if you know, but this is sensitive to him, bro. Like, this is real shit. So let me just jump in real quick. So you guys are really answering a lot of my questions, and mainly from a kid's perspective that has nothing, which is Trey. This is really you, and this is why I really wanted to hear your answer on it, is that from a kid that had nothing, you made choices that changed your life. What made the decision, or what did you see? Yes. What happened that made you say, fuck this, I can't stay here. I'm finna go to the military. What gave you that idea, bro? That's what I really want to know, because that was the deciding factor in your life. What happened?
Correct.
God showed me a plan and his purpose, and I just followed his footsteps. Like I always tell you, bro, like for me personally, sometimes I sit back and I'm like, damn, I'm not supposed to be here right now.
You say it all the time.
Some of the shit I've survived, I'm not supposed to be here right now. So that's how I say, like, God literally handpicked me to do something, but I gotta figure out what he needs me to do. Like I don't think people understand that. Yeah, I don't figure out, I need to figure out how. But in those situations, like in the ghetto, in any kind of poverty, God is still there. In the back, he's still, he planting those seeds and trying to guide you, but it's up to you. Like you said, do you want to follow this path or that path? But you gotta trust. You gotta trust the process. Like if God tell you to move, you got to. Then you gotta understand that it may not happen right now, but he will get you on the back end. You're investing in, you are putting in your trust is your investment, and God will pay you back tenfold on the back end. You just gotta.
Sorry to cut you off. Sorry about that, Trey. But you said something that made me think about what I told my cousin. I told him because he called me one day and he was like, "Bro, like I don't know what's going on." I'm like, I'm telling you just like I was told by God, because God told me this too when I was in maybe I was deployed in Afghanistan, right? He was like, "I bet on you. Why can't you bet on you?"
God damn. That's fact.
That's what he said to me. He's like, I bet on you. Why can't you bet on you? This is after I got blown up. After my vehicle was like, my door flew off and everything. I should have been dead. Like, gone. He was like, I bet on you. Why can't you bet on you? What's stopping you from betting on you after I put everything I can into you?
So, so would y'all say that God gives us a vision, and based on our circumstances at the time or in our life, if we decide to pay attention to it, is what's gonna make the difference? Like where?
Look at Quay Walker,
Trey
bro.
talk about it first.
Go ahead.
Look at Quay Walker. Look at Quay Walker. Quay Walker, Green Bay Packers, from my city. He first round draft pick.
Yes, he was. He beats too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, look, God gave him a vision and he followed it to a T. Not saying it was perfect, but he followed. He trusted God. Like, I know his dad. Like, I know his dad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was such a beautiful moment, bro. Like, I wish I could tell him that, but it was such a beautiful moment to see that man get drafted in the first round, knowing where the hell he came from. Because like I told you, bro, if I ever get a chance to perform in a football stadium and pack that shit out, bro, the first thing I'm going to do is cry. I'm going to cry, bro, because I'm going to be like, damn. Like, damn, look what God brought me, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
God always say, I will not leave you. He was always by your side. You decide to veer off away from him. But we always find our way back. That's the crazy thing. We always find our way back to him. Whether you do it the easy way or the hard way, we always find our way back. You in jail.
About that.
You in prison. What you do, you seek God. Because now you can hear him because it's absolute silence in that cell with you. So I'm saying, bro, like, if you trust that process, bro, like, that's what from now on, when people tell me that about what I said, I'm going to say, look at Quay Walker.
I don't know. I'll say look at Travion. I'm just saying.
I'm saying look at all of us, because think about how, like you said, how far we came from, where we're from, the things that we've been through, the trials and tribulations. Like I told Mac, the decisions that I made is what I look like, right? So like, my thing is, for me, I remember chasing ass. I remember selling dope. I remember throwing parties. I remember doing all types of stupid stuff. For what? For the bitches.
For the bitches.
I'm gonna say that's how I would say it. When I was at that time, I was like, for the bitches. But that was I don't think that was doing was feeding my flesh, feeding my ego. It wasn't feeding his will. So when I finally realized those things, I mean, yes, it was too late to where I should if I would have learned earlier, if I would have heed warnings and advice from people who was trying to guide me the right way instead of being hard headed.
But some shit you gotta learn the hard way.
Correct, like Trey said, you gotta learn the hard way, right? I mean, that doesn't mean that it's wrong. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just that, hey, as long as you're able to interpret and to see that this is where you messed up, and now you can modify that, you can turn around and repent, and you can change your life, and you can start doing things the right way through God's way. It's all gravy. You know what I'm saying? Like everything will come back to you tenfold. Like you said, it will come back to you as long as you're doing what He told you to do. But like you said before, the issue that we tend to have is that we start following our flesh. We're not following His will, and it's kind of hard to see that early on in life when you're young and you might grow up in church, but you're not really in church. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just kind of grow up in church, but you're not really in church. You don't really understand the word. You don't really don't get. You don't know how that applies to your life. You don't know none of that. Only thing you know is what your friends talking about, what's on 106 and Park, what's on TRL, what's on whatever.
What's
in the basement, your MTV raps. Pretty much what right now is showing glitz and glamour. That's why entertainment, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all that stuff is making our kids and everybody's mind shrink because it's about attention grabbing. And so now they can't discern, they can't make good decisions. They don't know what's entertainment, how to take away from those things. We tend to gravitate more towards that to be entertainers. We on here spitting game.
Yeah.
I promise you, like, a lot of people who listen to this ain't gonna take none of that shit in.
That's their stupid fault. But I would tell you what they will take in though. They gonna take in there when I tell them the entertainment world and everything that lies around the visuals, the sound, the creation, all of that is the simple trickery perception that you can outshine the master.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
Mm-hmm. You can never.
God giveth, God taketh.
Boy. But you know
He
what?
ain't lying.
Nah, he ain't never lied. He ain't never lied. And you know what? That's powerful, bro. Like, just to try to understand the psyche of a young man that didn't have a mother, father, or and only bad influences, how God can still pull you through a situation that can change your whole life and then keep guiding you to a place that you're still trying to be the greatest version of you. That ain't nothing but God. Like, that ain't nothing but
Because
God. And
people
that's
don't
for any of
understand.
us. Yeah, talk
Bro.
that shit. I mean,
But see, the crazy thing about your life, Trey, and this is the thing I told one of my cousins, man, is that your life is a living testimony. It's a modern day Bible for other people to read.
yep.
It is
Yep.
like it is a modern day Bible for other people to read. I kid you not, like,
Bro, I'm
because
on
the
some
things
you
that you
type.
went through,
I'm on some you type vibe.
oh, I feel
Yeah,
you, man.
y'all both
Do
writing
it.
books and scripts and shit. I'm
Hey,
just
man,
ready to
hey,
shoot
look.
them shits when y'all ready.
Look,
Let's
do
go.
your thing, B. But like I said, bro, like the way you went from one spot to, because mind you, there's levels to all of it. There's
Yeah.
not just like
Yep.
it's different than being at the bottom than being at the bottom. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, there's levels to it, and like to compare people levels is different. But when you see somebody that comes from the bottom all the way back
Mhm.
up to where they can hold their head up, they know
Mhm.
this is what direction they're going, this is how they're gonna move, this is how they're gonna change their family's life. It's a different determination with that, because that
Mhm.
circumstance changed all that,
Mhm.
and that's a walking testimony to, like, hey, look, if God can do it for me, what can He do for you?
Right.
You have no excuse.
But see, that shit's
It
real,
remind me
bro.
of Job.
Bro,
That's why
I
in the
ain't.
military,
Go ahead.
Matt used to always ask me, how did I get through all of that bull crap that they were doing? Shout out to Uncle Sam though.
Hey,
But I mean, if they understood the concept, bro, is where if my past couldn't break me, what the hell make them think they could?
That's it. God damn it.
What you said?
Oh,
hey, he said it. I didn't.
can I be real with y'all for a second? I know you
What up,
speaking,
man?
bro, but on God, I personally
He
feel
ain't
like this,
lying.
and this may be fucked up, but I feel like because of that one factor alone, I can always be confident and have pride that I've done what God told me to do. I made it through this. You really haven't walked this journey alone yourself by yourself, however you want to look at it, because this is still your story. We're just supporting Cass in your story. You still got to take those strides. You still got to take those punches, get knocked down, get your ass back up. Shit, goddamn, you got a broken arm? Shit, go to the hospital, fix that bitch, get back in there, because you still got to deal with it. Like,
Right.
it's still you. So you got to
see-
take pride in any of that. That's God, bro. Like, I'm saying this, you give credit to God. I'm not taking away from him.
Yeah, exactly. But see, the crazy thing about it too is that's the mentality that people who really want to be successful they have. They have a mentality where they like, if you can do it, why the hell can I not? Like, what makes you better than me?
Right.
Yo,
How you think you better than me? Like,
We twist that thought.
I've been way below. I've been deeper down lower than you ever could be. If you were where I was at, you would break. Like,
But-
what
Right.
make you think that like, that's what I'm saying. The mindset to me, this was like, I've been to the bottom, bro. I've been sleeping. I slept out my car a couple of times, like my Astro Boy blankets. I kid you not. I remember my car got repossessed plenty of times, bro. Like, just because I didn't pay tolls on fucking parking fees, shit. Like, living in other girls' dorms and shit when I was in college. Like, bro, I was doing stupid shit. But the thing is that, like,
surviving.
when you've been to the bottom, ain't nowhere else to go.
Right.
So you don't fear that. That's why when David said, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, I shall not fear no evil. Like, I understand that. It's like, where else can I go? And when David wrote that, David was hiding from King Saul because King Saul was trying to kill him.
That's
He
why
was in a cave. He was in a cave with the Philistines during that time frame. So, like, if you think about that, the thing about when Jesus on the cross, he said, God, take this. If it's not your will, if not my will, your will be done. That's the highest form of sacrifice, bro. Like,
That's real.
ain't no way in the hell you can't tell me that I can't do this and this and that. What you mean I can't do this and this and that? I can do it. You can't even take the pressure. You can't even take the pressures of my life and diamonds make impression makes diamonds. You can't even do that.
I'm over here glistening.
So if you can't do that, so how you gonna tell me what I can't do? You know what I'm saying? Like if you can't do that, how you gonna tell me what I can't do?
Right.
Yeah. On God.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That image of the butterfly, that when my soul resonates with the butterfly. People don't understand that concept that I, you know what I'm saying, I see when I see a butterfly, bro. It reminds me so much of my soul, my spirit. It's like the caterpillar wraps itself up in complete darkness. To break free and become this beautiful ass butterfly. Slow the motion,
you still gotta
though.
teach yourself how to fly. Come on, go ahead.
Yeah, a caterpillar motion is so slow. But yet on the way it enjoys the journey. It endures the dangers. A caterpillar crawling to a leaf to become a cocoon. Anything can eat it on the way there, but it still keep going.
Come on.
But then it wraps itself inside of darkness, which is
What you said?
and it sits there in that darkness. And then when it's time to that's God blanket around us, sheltering us. And we think it's complete darkness, but no, he is evolving us to transcend into something beautiful. Then out we come. Now we soaring in the world. We living our dream. We doing what God really want us to do.
He ain't lying.
What?
So now we flying with him.
Y'all took notes. Y'all better took notes. You better took notes.
That's why you see that butterfly, bro.
I respect it, bro. That's
It's real talk, man. Like so, people don't understand the journey. That's why the book, man. When you,
Come
I can't
on,
wait
talk
to drop
that
this
shit.
book.
Talk that shit.
Nope. I'm not even gonna talk. I just can't. Just wait till you read it. Just wait till you read it. Just wait till you read about the process. It's really called The Process. It's eight. I ain't gonna tell you how many steps. There's 8 steps to it. But understand, every one of them,
I ain't gonna tell you how many steps, but 8 of them.
But guess what? It's 8 steps, and guess what? You can't interchange any of them. They all interdependent on each other. You can't. You can't substitute one for the other. You got to do one, the other, and everything else will follow along, and it repeats itself. It's a continuous cycle. It's a circle. The same way God works into.
It's a circle.
That's what I'm saying.
I ain't talking about Simba. I ain't talking about Circle of Life like Lion King. I'm talking about this is real stuff.
Hey, I mean, that's a real thing too, to be honest. But I feel that.
It is.
I feel that. Bro, that's solid as hell. That's solid as hell, bro. I ain't gonna lie. This is one of the most touching episodes that we've had, in my opinion, because y'all talked about real shit that affect y'all personally, and you still explain how we can better ourselves in these situations that a lot of young men find themselves. The streets are attractive. Women are attractive. Like that life is attractive as fuck. The money come fast in a lot, but there's a lot of shit that you can't get back with that life.
But can I leave with something though?
Oh, say what you gotta say.
So it's a thing called delayed gratification, right? And it's something that I wish that I would have learned early on in life. And if I could do it over, it'll be delayed gratification. The things you think you want right now, just tell yourself no, not right now. And just keep pushing on the path you're pushing. Because the issue is this: we tend to start, like for example, when you spending money, you start to spend the money on things that you want. Doesn't mean you need it. You're not delaying gratification. If you can't buy that thing 3 times over, you don't spend the money on it. But because we want it, we so impulsive. Same thing when we trying to get these girls. We doing everything for the girls because we young and stupid, full of nut. We trying to get our nut off. So we like, yo, I'm trying to bust Tamisha. I'm trying to bust whoever the chick is, you know. So you like, yo, let me do what I can do, get the right fit on this and that. But delay the gratification of that because Tamisha ain't gonna be the same Tamisha 10 years from now.
Yo,
just understand that.
No.
Just understand that Tamisha ain't gonna be the same Tamisha 10 years from now, and she gonna be looking at you like you were the catch, because at that moment she might have been the catch, but she ain't really there because her mental ain't there, and neither is yours. Get your mind right first before you start doing everything else.
Yeah, that's true. Cause I was raised by aunties and shit. I seen how they finesse.
What?
So,
oh God,
you know
what you said.
Hey, my whole life, bro, I just wanted to put my grandma in a position where she can sit back and just look outside and smile. She never had that, bro, and I'm not gonna stop until she get it.
Oh God,
she can always come here to Hawaii, but you know, I want her to feel at peace in her heart, like this is her shit.
Yeah.
I don't think nobody ever gave her that. Like that small. Like I kid you not, bro. When I graduated high school, I was the first of my generation. Everybody before me, nothing. But when I graduated, the next 2 months, I was trying to enlist into the military. When I brought that recruiter to my grandma in the back, because I was 17, so she had to sign. So when I brought her, I don't even think I told you this story before, but when I brought the recruiter to the backyard, she was sitting outside in the backyard. She seen me walk up with a guy, and she just burst out in tears.
Oh, God.
Her reasoning for today, because when she seen that, she knew I was heading in a different direction.
Hell yeah.
And ever since then, that shit stuck with me. Like, bro, I got to put my grandma in a different direction.
Say less.
Find your why. You got to find your why.
You know what?
Yeah.
Damn, boy. I don't even want to say nothing on that. You want to close it out, my boy?
Yeah, Trey, it's on you, man.
Hey, you know.
No. Hey, but look, check this out. Real talk. Cordero, you said find your why. I challenge everybody to find your how, because you've been predestined to do a lot of things in your life, and you're going to do those things. But you need to find out how you're going to walk this path and how you're going to stay on this path, because it ain't going to be easy no matter what you get. Your story may be the worst story that you've ever heard, but it could be somebody out there worse or whatever. Yeah. Either way it go, you still got to walk your path, and you got to do the best you can. So with that being said, y'all have a good night, and make sure y'all subscribe, because we here. Look at it. Hey, it'd be fucked up if you ain't even record.
I heard what you said.